Hi everyone, it's William here on a snowy winter afternoon, as you can see, but we are doing January 1915 today. So this is the Grand Duke Dmitri diary series. Today it really is a diary entry. Our recap from the previous video, we were in 1939 and spent an afternoon, a sort of bizarre afternoon, with Max Aitken, Lord Beaverbrook, the press baron in the UK. Grunwald was trying to see what was going on with Beaverbrook and Dmitri. So he was there sort of on a spying expedition, but with Dmitri's blessing, or at least on the surface. Okay, so 1915, our last diary entry. Dmitri was pretty much snowed in. He and Laming together at Usovo, and they found a way to amuse themselves, at least temporarily, by making a chess set out of paper. Okay, our cast today, well, we have a new, not new because we've had him before, but we have Anatole France back, the famous French writer, and Dmitri will be starting a new book. So let's dive in. It is 20th January / 2nd February 1915 in Usovo. 5.5 degrees below freezing, but sunny and with no wind. I got up around 11 o'clock. I slept all right. Fortunately, the diarrhea has stopped, and therefore I've begun to feel markedly better. I went outside around 12 o'clock. After the frightful snowfall of yesterday, it's hardly possible to take a step. Naturally, there's no trace of the rabbits. More than half an arshin of snow fell yesterday, and judging from the newspapers, there's also an incredible amount in Moscow. I took a little walk before lunch, which was at 1 o'clock, after which we sat around for a little while and then took another walk. The weather was heavenly, sunny, but the frightful amount of snow made it difficult to move. I had tea à deux with GM at 5 o'clock, after which I sat down to read La Crime de Sylvestre Bonnard by Anatole France. It's quite sweet and poetic. I read until dinner time, which was at 8 o'clock, à deux with GM. Then we played chess. This time we had a real set, which was found at Elinskaya. We played until midnight. I'm disgusted with myself, and I didn't want to lose. After tea, I went straight to bed, and it was late. Okay, a cozy day, another cozy day, and arshin. Well, I definitely had to look that up. It's a Russian unit of measurement. I would doubt that it's still in use. I think it's an old one. And it amounts to, my math skills aren't very good, but it seems to amount to about a foot in English measures and 30 centimeters in metric measures. So yeah, it's a lot to fall in one night. Now Dmitri refers to the newspapers. Somehow they reached him despite all of this snow. Somebody delivered the newspapers in a blizzard, I guess, and he was always a newspaper junkie. I don't like to use that word. I can't think another one off the top of my head. But, everywhere he went, he always had not just one newspaper, but several newspapers. So he was well informed. Don't have any misgivings about that. He knew what was going on in the world. The book that he refers to by Anatole France, in English it's called The Crime of Sylvestre Bonnard, and it's a book that I myself read solely because of Dmitri's recommendation. I'm making progress with the other one, with the Paul Bourget book, and it still baffles me a little that Dmitri at 23 liked it so much, because it's such a serious book. But The Crime of Sylvestre Bonnard, okay, he calls it sweet and poetic. Yeah, kind of. I mean, okay, I enjoyed it at the time, and it's one that I would read again, and I've thought about reading it again, but I don't even really remember what the crime is. I mean, he doesn't murder anybody or anything like that. I just remember two scenes from the book that I really liked a lot, so they've stayed with me. One is the main character when he's a boy, just walking past a shop window, he sees this doll in a beautiful dress, and he just thinks it's the most amazing thing he's ever seen. He's just a normal kid, you know. He doesn't, by the standards of the day, he's a normal kid. He's not interested in girls' things, but this doll just enchants him, and he knows his parents will never let him have it. But so he has this uncle who has always been sort of his champion and his pal, and he decides to risk telling the uncle that he wants this doll because, you know, this uncle has always been his sort of ally against the parents. But the uncle is horrified, and so, you know, that's too bad. He never gets this wonderful doll, and, you know, too bad, really. Not only that, but it sort of lowers him in the esteem of his uncle. But anyway, the other thing that I love in the book is that he encounters, when he's an adult and he's traveling in Sicily, he encounters an aristocratic Russian couple, and they both suffer from almost terminal ennui, and you know, that's the way they put it. And so Sylvester Bernard is talking to the wife, and she says, you know, at one point somebody advised me, madam, you should have a child. That will be the cure for your ennui. So she had a child, and the child not only did not cure her ennui, but she said, well, now my son is in boarding school in Russia, and he suffers terribly from ennui. So, you know, she'd passed it down to her son like some disease. I thought that was really funny. I was teaching fourth graders at the time, and I told them in Sunday school, and I told them that the two essential words that they needed to learn, foreign words, were angst and ennui, and if they learned those and used them, they would definitely impress all their teachers. But I don't know if any of them ever did. Anyway, yeah, Dmitri, I'm sure, could relate, if not to the doll, then at least to the ennui in this aristocratic Russian couple. Okay, you know, I don't know if he ever graduated to Proust. He never mentions Proust, but the things he's reading would point in that direction. And Proust was a big fan of Anatole France, and he even mentions Paul Bourget. Yeah, but I don't. He never mentions having read Proust. Certainly, he was too young at 23. I mean, nobody should really start Proust until they're at least 40. But anyway, moving on from that, somehow amidst all this snow, like with the newspapers, somebody managed to bring this chess set from Ilinskaya to Usovo. So, you know, to the credit of that person, Dmitri is vague about it. He just says they found a chess set at Ilinskaya. So obviously it had to be brought from Ilinskaya to Usovo. The verb could have been we found a. Actually, it's the plural verb, but it could be we found a chess set at Ilinskaya. But, you know, he's given us a pretty detailed description of what he did during that day and the previous day, and he certainly didn't make it to Ilinskaya, so somebody brought it. So what, you know, with the chess, he's down on himself as usual. He, when he doesn't perform well in any kind of game or sport, you know, it bothers him, but he's clearly a good sport about it. You know, I can't necessarily infer that from this, but from other things, you know, where he talks about it, he just is frustrated with himself and not with other people. And we will be hearing some more about that, because in this instance, it really bothers him that he just can't win. I know that feeling with my relationship to chess. Yeah. So, what do we have next time? Well, one of the remaining few paragraphs from the Grunwald letter, very interesting. Grunwald, after having this encounter with Beaverbrook, himself, then trying still to figure out what mystifies him about what is the nature of Dmitri's relationship with this man, and whether it is something that could cause problems. Talking there in a political sense. So again, very interesting. When we return to 1915, we'll have yet another book that Dmitri dives into. He's reading very quickly. And we'll also have Ella and Maria coming into the picture with plans being made. And so, things are about to get a little more interesting in Usovo, with the addition of Maria, not Ella. But okay, I'll see you next time. Bye.